This podcast is brought to you by Your Reno Works.
If you're looking for a trustworthy, dependable and responsible interior contractors for your home, contact Your Reno Works at 8383-7879.
8383-7879, or you can head on over to their socials at Your Reno Works on Instagram, Facebook and TikTok. Alternatively, you can also head on to their website at www.yourrenoworks.com.
Yes.
Defining space, defining home with Your Reno Works. Your Reno Works can be trusted. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Outside In.
Your go-to source for honest conversations about relationships and marriage.
So, if you are ready, let's go. Alright,
Hi guys.
hari ni kita kembali lagi dengan another episode.
Yes, today kita nak ceritakan lah. So, that time kita pergi OLG kan. Kita diundang ke Okay Let's Go. Alhamdulillah. But after the episode came out, we received a DM. Received a DM of an OLG listener.
Blood.
Dia cakap, hi, Assalamualaikum. I heard about you from the Okay Let's Go punya episode lah, and I have a story to share. Dia kita macam
Masya Allah. So to Zadin dengan Razi, terima kasih kerana korang kita mendapati guest pada hari ni lah.
Yes.
Siapa guest kita sayang?
Guest kita hari ni very interesting. Yes, very uncommon to hear. Because dia kahwin seseorang gadis.
Seorang gadis Melayu terakhir gitu.
Seorang gadis, how many years older? Sorry,
12.
She's 12 years older.
12 years older.
Dah dengar suara dia kan? Without further ado, kita introduce dia lah hari ni. Nama dia adalah Izwan. Selamat datang ke Outside Ini, Izwan.
Terima kasih.
How are you today?
I am good.
Excited tak nak share story kat podcast?
Excited but a bit nervous also lah.
Kita pun tak tahu kenapa ni macam nervous.
Tapi Alhamdulillah, I think first and foremost I would like to say thank you for reaching out to us, especially after you listen to our episode kat OLG lah. So kita rasa memang terharu juga that you know Bloods also boleh dengar and relate to us jugalah.
Okay.
So kita fikir kita ni siapa kan.
And it's not often lah that we hear Selalunya kita dengar the lady is the one who is younger than the husband.
Macam you younger than me kan?
Yeah, but this one is the lelaki yang lebih muda daripada the wanita, but then 12 years. That is quite to me lah, quite a huge age gap. So kita want to find out a little bit more about his story.
Yes.
So dia pun ada yang nak sampaikan especially about being a father, about parenting.
Yeah, banyak lah insyaAllah kita boleh cover pada hari ni.
Okay, bismillah, alhamdulillah. First of all, terima kasih to both of you, Yanto dengan Farah, for inviting me to your humble podcast lah.
Alhamdulillah.
To be honest, I had this conversation with my wife on my way here. Dia tak habis tanya, betul ke you nak buat podcast? Betul ke? Right. And I told her, insyaAllah, I think everyone has a story to share lah. Whether it's good or bad, as long as we learn something out of it.
Yeah, mengambil iktibar daripada segala apa yang kita lalui di dunia ni kan. Alhamdulillah. So I'm glad lah you share the same sentiment dengan kita juga.
Yeah. So kita pun nak tahu juga, how did you actually meet your wife?
Okay, so maybe I throw back a bit before I get into my marriage lah. So dulu waktu muda-muda ni kita ni nakal. Right. So ada kalanya balik, ada kalanya tak balik lah. So most of the time, especially after NS, I spend a lot of time with my friends. Kita tak duduk rumah ni orang lah kan.
Suka ton
Lepak, tidur rumah kawan dan sebagainya lah. Kita dah kerja full time, right? And then come to a day, hati ni terdetik memberitahu yang dah masanya kau balik, duduk dengan mak bapak kau, jaga mereka. So balik. Dan bila kat rumah tu, yalah kita pergi kerja macam biasa, tak fikir pun pasal nak ada relationship and so on lah.
Dalam hati nak kerja je lah.
Correct, ingat kerja je. Cukup bulan kasih mak bapak duit dan sebagainya.
Alhamdulillah, anak misali ni bagus.
Okay, so what happened was, my wife ni, dia sebenarnya neighbor saya.
Jiran sebelah.
Literally sebelah rumah je.
Okay.
Yes, so at that point we are staying in a rented flat lah, satu bilik satu hall. So how it happened was, pada mulanya kedua anak lelaki dia, which is the first one and the fourth one lah, always come over to my house, dan kita main console game lah. Kita ada Xbox, ada PlayStation, dan kita main sama-sama like macam neighbor biasa.
Okay, macam I want to go to my neighbor's house play game lah.
And at that point they are still young. Yang anak nombor 4 tu I think about 7 years old, 8 years old. Then the first one is about 13 to 14 years old lah.
How old were you at that point in time?
I was only 23, 22, 23.
Wow,
yeah.
Macam abang nak main game dengan abang.
Big brother lah.
Ya, waktu tu diorang masih panggil abang
Faham.
And just to share a bit, my wife used to call my mother kakak.
Wow. You see where is this going?
Correct. So at that point, bila kita dah build that relationship, diorang asyik datang rumah je. Eventually kita pun nak kena tahu siapa mak dia kan. So kita pada permulaannya kita exchange social lah. And then we communicate through Facebook.
Okay.
Setakat tanya macam where you work, that kind of thing lah. And I was also anxious lah. Like I want to know what happened to you. Like where's your husband and so on lah. So we meet up for the first time. Ingat lagi kita duduk dekat kedai kopi mamak, makan prata malam-malam.
Siapa?
Then they sharekan story dia kat kita lah. Tapi pada waktu tu tak ada perasaan langsung lah. Maksudnya nak buat kawan je kan. And she's my neighbor and of course someone who is much more older than me, 12 tahun kan. So eventually that feeling build up lah.
Kenapa tu? Did anything happen?
I think because I spend most of the time lepas balik kerja dengan anak-anak dia. And then she's someone who likes to talk to my mother, my late mother. Kadang-kadang kasih makan, kita kongsi makan lah.
Okay, kan korang punya life dah very interconnected lah in a sense at the point.
Somehow.
Okay, faham.
Okay, so jatuh cinta lah. So jatuh cinta, I think in 2013, early 2013, less than 6 months gitu. I think about 6 months then kita tunang somewhere in 2013 September. So before pertunangan tu, what happened was I met her late father. Nak beritahu yang
nak
kita
masuk
ni nak masuk memindang dan sebagainya kan. I went alone, right? So I went alone.
Nice. Okay.
Just to tell her late father, and her uncle was also there lah. Her mom was also there. And then the question they gave me was, kau betul ke boleh jaga
anak aku,
Linda ni dengan anak-anak dia? Anak dia ada 5 dan yang besar tu 14 tahun. Jarak antara kita about 10 years. So I told myself, okay lah, boleh lah insyaAllah. Because kita ni dah buat banyak kesilapan, so I think it's time for me to move forward. And in order for me to do that, kita nak kena ada rumah tangga. That's for me lah, okay? Different people have different point of view. But for me, kalau kita nak jauhkan diri kita daripada segala perkara yang tak baik, kahwin lah, that's the only way. And Nabi pun ada kan memesan kita, kalau kita nak jauh daripada segala maksiat, kahwin lah, kan, nikah. So that's what I do. So in September 2013, my parents all came, then kita merisik, we tunang. Less than a year, 2014 May, kita nikah, Alhamdulillah.
Oh wow, Masya Allah. September, Oktober, November, December, January, February, March, April. 8 bulan.
Wow.
Correct. Yes. And at that point, my financial wasn't that stable. Kan, tapi because of her support, and my parents was also not to say outgoing, they support what I do lah. In fact, my mother say, Alhamdulillah, cepatlah kau kahwin, keluar daripada rumah aku.
Lagipun dah kenal kan
dah
dengan
kenal.
your wife.
And literally keluar masuk rumah sebelah. Cuba bayangkan.
Oh, ini sebelah rumah je kot.
Senang nak rumah.
Senang je.
Masya Allah.
So there's pros and cons lah. Kan? Antaranya bila kita ada masalah tu, then we go back to our parents. But the problem is, it's not her parents. So sometimes permulaan tu dia macam a bit susah nak kekok, nak bilang tak ada masalah dan sebagainya. Tapi it's a good thing, right? We learn through experience. So kita nikah, Alhamdulillah. In fact, the first honeymoon we went to Desaru. I brought 5 of them together lah.
5 children juga.
5 children.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. Sorry, kita backtrack a bit. So bila nak kahwin tu, I was saying my financial wasn't that good. Of course I have put some money lah
untuk saving
kan. Ada sikit saving, tapi partly also she helped me through it.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. And kita buat tak besarlah, kecil-kecilan dekat masjid, panggil saudara mara yang terdekat lah, adik-beradik dan sebagainya. Tapi Alhamdulillah, dengan izin Allah semuanya jalan dengan lancar.
Alhamdulillah.
Right. Okay, so one thing yang kita buat selepas tu, of course we went to honeymoon, and then I brought all the 5 kids. Alhamdulillah, semua happy. Oh yeah, I forget to mention. So my late mother actually talk to the 5 kids.
Okay.
And tanya dorang lah one to one. I didn't know this only after 1 or 2 years after my marriage.
Okay.
So my late mother was asking them whether they are okay, whether they are prepared to accept me as their father. Right. So just to share context, my wife ni dia single before my marriage about 7 years.
Okay.
So she was the only mother and also father
Father figure.
untuk 7 tahun.
Yes, understand.
And 5 anak cuba bayangkan.
Yeah.
Kan.
Yeah. So my wife asked them and they happily said that they agree lah, approve lah.
Approve
Adakah bila dia cakap baik lah dapat main game hari-hari tak?
Because one of the hobby that I like to do also is to play console game.
Yeah.
Daripada keluar rumah kan. Waktu tu lah kita baru nak balik rumah tu. Jadi biasakan diri main game supaya kita duduk rumah tak keluar.
Save duit
And my parents also tak cakap lah nak main sampai pagi ke, just play je lah. Okay, so yeah, so one of the things that I learned selepas baru kahwin tu, in fact I didn't think about it tau, adalah ujian yang akan datang, iaitu macam mana kita nak manage anak-anak ni, because diorang dah makin membesar.
Betul.
Correct.
Right, and there are things that we didn't see is coming lah. Sebagai contoh macam tiba-tiba sekolah call, right, and tanya you know this kid ada buat sesuatu kat sekolah lah. And for me it's something new. Right, in fact my experience was I did something in school and then my parents came down to my school. I mean my teachers, betul. So I just went down and the first impression the teacher actually gave me was, biar betul kau ni bapak dia, right? Then they asked me, are you the father? Yes, I am the father. You look much more younger. Yeah, I am young. Then I explain to them lah. The situation also bila pergi kedai pun, aunty nyonya kedai tanya, you banyak muda ah. So I told them, yes, ni anak saya. Kita nak kena repeat je lah. Initial stage a bit tak biasa. Pasal kita nak kena explain kan.
Explain again and again.
Dah jadi macam script lah kan, nak kena memorize.
And this is something that I don't really like to do lah. Macam orang tanya, kau ni muda tapi kau ada anak 5, how do you do that? Right. And then to tell them that I'm actually the stepdad. And then they cakap, oh okay, then how old is your wife? Bila
tu lagi soalan, lagi satu soalan ya.
Betul. And then bila kita beritahu tentang our wife punya age, orang macam you know, give the expression. So these are the few challenges lah yang I have to go through.
Tapi bila orang tanya kan yang that situation tu, this why you so young blah blah blah. But you pernah tanya tak your kids? Bila orang tanya macam gitu kan, dorang rasa macam mana?
At that point, because they are a bit young, so I think they are okay with it for me to explain to these people who are asking. After all, they also will say, oh, I'm his daughter, I'm his son. And then these people won't even ask them lah. Tapi as always, I will explain to these people. So antara perkara yang kita lalui ni, within my circles of friends pun ada yang tanya-tanya. Macam kita bilang diorang, pasal kita tak jemput diorang kat kita punya pernikahan. So diorang akan tanya, kau dah kahwin? Oh dah. Berapa anak? That will be the first question kan. Berapa anak? So when I say 5, diorang macam ya betul kan, 5 anak kan. Tapi I think it's okay lah, as long mak bapak kita dah restu. There's no question about it lah.
Pasal yang mengalami this whole perkahwinan ni is you, bukan orang kan. Diorang cuma memandang aja.
Betul kan? So bila kawan-kawan kita ni tanya, kita just cakap anak 5, isteri aku 12 tahun lebih tua, dia seorang janda. InsyaAllah lah dengan anak ni ke-5 ni, pahala times 5. Itu saya punya motif je lah, tak ada benda yang lain. Jadi kita pun dalam Islam pun diajarkan supaya bila kita nak mendidik anak tu, kita nak kena tahu, because different children have different perangai. Right. And as parents, one of the challenge yang kita ada is untuk bagikan masa kepada anak-anak ni. Kan, ada anak perlukan attention lebih. Ada anak macam diam, buat baik. Tapi actually pun ada masalah juga. Kita pun tak tahu kan. So that's one of the thing. Pasal kita kerja, balik penat, right? And then we have to keep up with what they are doing. Ada yang sekolah kadang-kadang balik lambat kasih alasan ada something on, but actually there's nothing, right? So we need to sit them. Betul, macam-macam.
Pernah pakai itu excuse semua time muda.
Tapi kita pun pernah muda guys. Kita pun pernah muda. Kita tahu ni semua kelentung.
Betul. And then the hard part for me was macam mana aku nak adakan structure to manage this kind of problem, and coming from 5 different kids.
Yeah.
Right.
Masa tu pun you 24 years
20
old
plus.
gitu. Yeah,
very young. So kita, for me, I always have this practice whenever there's any problem at home or daripada anak-anak yang mana, we sit down together and we talk about it.
Semua ramai-ramai.
Ramai-ramai. Nice. So of course when there are personal things, kita tak nak ramai-ramai lah, because kita tak nak aibkan dia kan.
Takut dia merasa malu ke apa.
Betul. And if there's anything that everyone can learn also, then kita just duduk, we talk about what problem you have, and then I will give my suggestion. Yeah.
Wow.
Dia macam EGM.
Attorney General meeting.
Betul. I will tell them how they can improve or how they can do better lah.
Amazing.
Dan of course mak dia akan cakap kau jangan buat. Betul tak? I think ni konservatif. I'm not judging ataupun nak label tapi as someone older, dia mesti akan cakap, I mean our parents also do the same lah. Kau jangan buat benda-benda yang tak baik. Kan? Just telling them not to do it, but not thinking about the whole problem. Right.
Faham. Just say don't do it, but why cannot do it? Tak elaborate lah.
Right. So you need to know the root cause of it. Kan sebagai contoh, kalau diorang bergaduh kat sekolah, kan, kita sebagai parents akan cakap, kenapa kau gaduh? Kau jangan gaduh gini-gini.
Kalau tak bagus,
tak bagus dan sebagainya. Tapi kita tak nak faham apa yang menyebabkan dia gaduh. Betul tak?
Betul.
Yes. And then it's very important that we also ada kalanya kita nak kena side dia jugalah. Tak boleh asyik nak salahkan anak je, because there's no way for them to learn.
Yeah. I think if in order to do that, you have to find out lah kenapa. Baru you tahu dia salah ke atau orang tu yang aggravate dia ke, then you tahu macam mana nak handle the situation, apa advice nak kasih.
Yes.
Not just macam jangan gaduh.
But I nak tanya sikit when you do this kind of things kan, pasal in the position of a stepfather, I would say, in the position of a stepfather dengan 5 anak ni, macam mana you juggle between disciplining them dan juga memenang hati mereka sebagai seorang bapa?
Ya, sebab dulu sebelum you bernikah, you dengan anak dia main game, you know, like that big brother figure, but now you are like a father.
Nak kena disiplin tu, macam mana you handle?
Okay, jadi kita nak kena tahu dalam Islam ni, Allah berfirman di dalam surah Al-Maidah,
wow,
agama ni dah perfect untuk kita. Right. Dia dah aturkan segala-galanya. Sebagai contoh, sedangkan sahabat Nabi yang bernama Umar Al-Khattab, dia memberitahu kepada sahabat-sahabat cara bagaimana untuk nak menjaga anak. Sebagai contoh, daripada umur 1 ke 7 tahun, kita sayang dia macam baby. Dan selepas tu 8 sehingga 14 tahun, kita buat dia macam slave. Tapi jangan ingat slave tu macam
sebab
maksudnya kita harus beritahu dia orang, kau kena buat ni. Sebagai contoh, kemas rumah dan sebagainya.
Didik dia lah, betul, drill lah,
Betul.
disiplin.
Dan it's also important that kita, I think in general context dekat Singapore ni, there are few factors yang menyebabkan gejala sosial. Antaranya kepincangan keluarga, influence social media, and then individual, this kind of thing kita pun nak kena ambil tahu. And you have to keep in check dengan diorang lah. Sebagai contoh, macam sekarang social media macam-macam platform.
Betul.
So we need to find out what kind of content are you consuming. So kita tanya, apa yang kau tengok ni? And then from there we will know, right? And then always make it available for them. Tell them, okay, kalau kau ada masalah, if you have problem, don't be shy, I'm just a text away or call away. And macam mana busy pun, try to make it available for them. Itu ada satu cara-cara macam mana kita nak rapatkan that relationship lah. I feel it that way. Yep.
Wow, amazing.
Kita tak boleh cakap macam ni, you can just call me or I'll be here for you. Tapi bila
Time diorang betul-betul call.
Time to it, you tak ada pula nanti salah message pula kasi diorang.
So I mean, you mentioned earlier on tadi you need to really bagikan masa to the children kan. How then you dapat this energy to do apa nama dia, to really sit down and talk to them and all that?
Hi guys, Faris here from Your Reno Works. Some tips for you. Kalau korang jumpa dengan ID or contractor for discussion on your quotation, don't worry about the budget first. I know you have a certain budget, tapi be transparent with your ID or contractor. Tell them what is your dream house. You nak your house macam mana. So from there, we quote you the maximum first, because you will never know kalau your dream house tu fits your budget. If the quotation meets your budget, then it's good for you. Tapi kalau tak, then from there it's easier for us to cut down daripada kita nak add on. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding renovation, do contact us at 83837879, or you can follow any of our social media, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram at Your Reno Works. Your Reno Works can be trusted.
I think number one is your mentality. Kan kita tahu yang kita ni gatal nak nikah. Kan kita ni tahu yang kita ni nak berumah tangga. And for the fact that we have to also accept yang isteri kita ni ada 5 anak. So we have to ensure that they are also our kids. Because I always have this mentality lah. Seandainya kalau kita buat baik kepada orang, tak kira mak ke, saudara ke, kawan-kawan, insyaAllah it will turn out good. Right? This is influence lah as a parent. And then you yourself have to be a role model also. Sebagai contoh, my constant advice pada orang nombor 1, jangan lupakan solat. Kalau kita tak solat kat rumah, macam mana anak-anak nak ikut kan? Betul. Dan kalau kita tak terapkan didikan agama dalam diri mereka, macam mana diorang nak dekat dengan agama? Betul. Dan number 2, important juga untuk kita buat bersama mereka. Macam solat juga. Bila kita suruh orang solat, kita belum solat, jom kita solat sama-sama. And I think these are the few things that keep me going lah. And I also think, kalau let's say satu hari nanti I have my own kids, kan, I have my own 2 kids lah kita pun nak anak-anak kita ikut cara yang sama, dan mereka menjadi contoh kepada adik-adik mereka. That's how it works lah. And kalau kita dapat didik, manage diorang punya perangai kat rumah, insyaAllah dekat luar pun akan menjadi senang lah. And I always believe, kalau kita ni berbuat baik kepada mak bapak kita, these are the things that I always emphasize to them lah. Bila cakap dengan mak tu baik-baik, jangan tinggikan suara. In fact, these are the things that my late parents always remind me of. InsyaAllah dekat luar pun kita akan jadi baik. Tapi kalau dekat rumah, kita dah pandai nak menjawab balik. Menjawab balik, dia ada a few ways to do it lah. Suara tinggi, ataupun always think that you are always right. Dan susah. Dekat luar kita pun akan jadi macam sama juga.
Betul.
Tapi kalau kat rumah, insyaAllah baik, kat luar pun baik lah.
InsyaAllah.
Of course, the lessons that we learn from home, selalunya kadang-kadang orang kata this way, this line. Mak kau tak ajar Mak kau tak ajar
betul.
Kan kita ni bila kita keluar, we are representative of the people that raised us.
Yes, my mom always say, you are my ambassador. Me and Ayah ambassador. You go out, you're on your forehead ni, anak kepada so whatever your actions you do, kalau you buat tak senonoh ke apa kat luar tu, nanti orang cakap bukan pasal you. Orang cakap ni mesti sebulan-sebulan tak ajar anak dia.
Betul. And I think this is something common in Singapore kan, especially parents yang ada anak-anak yang bermasalah. Other people will just blame, mak kau tak ajar. So as parents, kita nak kena take it as a challenge. Macam mana kita nak ubahkan fikiran orang. This is to do the job properly lah. Didikkan anak-anak ni semua. And kita have to be there with them lah. Macam kadang-kadang bila diorang ni, and we have to also learn how to read their behaviour. Kadang-kadang bila ada masalah, balik rumah muka macam tak happy, muka muram, we have to ask them, what happened to you? You know, sit down with them, tanya apa masalah yang kita boleh bantu. Doesn't mean you have to give solution immediately, but just listening to them will make them, open their heart and
be more comfortable with you also.
And think way differently lah.
Right. Oh wow, I'm loving everything that I've been hearing for the past 20 minutes. Cepat
I think Alhamdulillah, because your age with especially the first few kids kan, macam 10 tahun jarak gitu je kan.
Betul.
So you can kind of relate to them. You can kind of macam connect with them more.
Yes.
So because of this kan, you ada tak any conflict dengan your wife dengan cara you, some of your approach with your kids? Macam tadi you cakap, kalau orang-orang generasi yang dulu punya kan macam jangan buat ni, jangan buat tu. Tapi
marah.
your approach is different, right?
Yes, so in the initial stage, of course my wife akan cakap, kenapa you benarkan? Contoh diorang nak keluar balik malam sikit. Ma, boleh tak hari nak keluar dengan kawan balik pukul 11 malam, contohlah. Of course mak akan cakap, kenapa lambat sangat? Jangan keluar balik lambat-lambat. And then what they do is, and it's also a habit, they will come to me, Ayah, I need your help. Can you help me? I want to go out with my friends and kita nak stay a bit late lah. Maybe I will reach home by 11. I will tell them, okay, but make sure you update me. Okay, update me where you go, with who. And then especially young girls, what I do is I will wait for them sampai diorang balik. Pastikan diorang tepati apa yang diorang kata lah. And then I will talk to my wife. And then she will ask me, kenapa you benarkan? I say, you have to open and give them some freedom, because diorang punya umur meningkat tau, bukannya menurun kan. Eventually one day diorang akan ada relationship. We have to accept that fact, and then berumah tangga dan sebagainya. So somehow after a while my wife get used to it, and then she got nothing else to say. But things that are a bit complex, I will ask her. Macam sebagai contoh anak nak pergi holiday dengan kawan. Betul? I think it's a big thing lah.
Dia tak pernah seumur hidup dia tak pernah pergi holiday dengan kawan. Betul?
Tak pernah.
My mother is strict lah.
Yeah. And my wife is also strict. And dia akan, of course tak benarkan. But kalau contoh for me, if you want to go JB, you go back within the day itself. In fact, the first son tu, I will always allow him to go. But you need to call me, video call me where you are. Once you reach, once you come back, you must tell me where you are. Then slowly they open up, my wife open up, and then sekarang should be okay lah. But we have to make it a habit. Kan, daripada muda, when they do something, always ask for permission. Sekarang umur anak yang first dah 24 tahun, masih tanya permission.
Alhamdulillah.
Diorang akan update dah sampai kerja, akan update my wife, dah habis kerja akan update my wife. So these are things that we have to establish kat diorang lah.
Jadi dah besar jadi biasa.
Jadi biasa.
Dia bukan I would say that dia bukan macam nak terpaksa nak message lah.
Betul.
Nak kena, dia macam kalau aku tak message nanti diorang risau. That kind of feeling. That's what you're trying to inculcate.
Correct.
Dalam diorang punya behavior lah in a sense kan.
I think because this one I want to ask you. Okay?
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah. Would you rather your parents kan cakap, okay, abang nak pergi JB lah, tak boleh? Ataupun abang nak pergi JB lah, okay boleh, tapi you nak kena balik by this time, you sampai sana nak kena call, kena buat banyak benda. Which one would you rather?
Kalau dapat pergi JB, call lah.
Second one kan. So I think the approach I pun tengah belajar lah. Kita belum ada anak kan. But this is something that I feel budak-budak sekarang especially, kita nak kena kasih diorang a little bit of freedom, but then still ada rules.
Correct.
So they can explore, tapi ada limit lah.
Dia macam layang-layang. Kan, kalau kita tak lepaskan, dia takkan fly.
Right.
Kita kena lepaskan sikit, lepas sikit, tu jadi tinggi.
Dia tarik balik lah.
Tapi bila dah penat tarik.
Same context lah.
Okay.
Nice.
Kan, because I feel that dia punya your cara, your relationship with your wife and the 5 children, it's very erat, is it? Like korang punya bond, how would you describe it?
Bond kita, Alhamdulillah, I think even younger girls, even though they are a bit macam introvert atau not willing to share, they start to open up lah. Macam contoh kat kerja ada masalah, macam mana nak buat kerja. I even sit with them just to teach them how to do Excel formula, that kind of thing. So I mean this little bits of, small things yang kita buat ni, hopefully diorang akan nampak lah. But I don't ask anything for return lah. At the same time they also learn, betul tak? And then they will tend to appreciate. okay, ada juga nak tolong aku. Right? If you go out and ask people to help you, probably they will charge you some money.
Faham.
Kan? So as long as kita ni nak kasih masa untuk anak-anak, insyaAllah lah.
Right. Yeah, I think one thing also going into marriage dengan seseorang yang ada anak 5, the first thing kita kena ingat is selalu macam the episode with Bang Yan kan, kita buy one get two free.
Right.
For yours is buy one get 5 kan. But it's not just about just wanting to get married kan. In a way you are given this amanah untuk menjaga 5 anak ni immediately tau. Bila selalu macam like for us is I dapat crawl into marriage life and then pelan-pelan learn about each other. But this for your situation, you masuk this marriage terus boom, instant jadi father, instant kena belajar all this how to be a father, how to be a husband, all the how-tos at the first start of the marriage life.
So just to share, I never went through any kind of courses, parenting courses.
Amazing.
I learned mostly from my parents and experiences from my brothers and sisters lah, yang dah ada rumah tangga kan, and how they manage their family, anak-anak dan sebagainya. So I would say I matured at a young age, to be honest. Even for the fact to decide I want to get married at 24, I think it's something big,
Yeah.
Especially when my partner have 5 kids.
Right.
And I constantly, when I have any problem dekat rumah, I will speak to my parents lah, my late parents. But I don't go into specific. Just in general, macam mana kita nak didik anak. I think my late father, his standard reply is kembali kepada Al-Quran dan Sunnah lah. Kan, always go back to agama. Itu very, because akhirnya kita pun tetap akan tinggalkan dunia ni. Antara perkara yang kita bawa cuma 3 perkara je, iaitu ilmu yang bermanfaat antaranya. Dan for me, I always harapkan supaya sedikit sebanyak ilmu yang I give to my kids bermanfaat untuk myself nanti bila mati satu hari nanti.
InsyaAllah.
And supaya benda ni akan jadi cycle. Mereka juga akan membuat benda yang sama ataupun lebih baik kepada anak-anak mereka. Kan? Jadi generasi keluarga kita tu akan sentiasa insyaAllah lah diterima kan.
InsyaAllah. I am so amazed.
So impressed.
Yes, I love whatever that has been going through my ears from the start of the episode. MasyaAllah.
In fact, I also think that it is important that kita ni bila nak terapkan agama kepada anak-anak, make them be practical to them. Kan? Sebagai contoh, my late parents, both of them meninggal dunia last year. My late mother passed away in August. 2 months after my late father in October. And 2 months after October, December, my late father-in-law pun passed away. So I have actually given opportunity to my first son to go through with us throughout the process lah, kematian, daripada macam mana nak uruskan jenazah, macam mana nak uruskan faraid. These things are important, right? In fact, kita pada mulanya kita tak tahu tau. So just to share lah, CPF, in order for us to take out, kita cakap senang simple term, we need to do nomination. So for my late mother, kita tak buat nomination, and the process is very very tedious tau.
Kalau tak, dia kena go straight to government kan?
Yes, kalau if there's no one who wants to claim it lah. So you need to go through Sharia court, apply for inheritance cert, and then go to a lawyer company, a commissioner of oath, nak kena sign and gedebak-gedebuk lah. It will take
many months.
And I bring my first son to go through that process supaya dia tahu.
Supaya dia belajar.
Correct. And then bila kita discuss tentang faraid ni, pemberian harta, bila adik-beradik berkumpul, he's also there. Jadi dia tahu macam mana nak expect bila satu hari I pass away ataupun my wife pass away kan, dia boleh manage all these things. This is something that yang mungkin kita lupa nak buat as parents, especially zaman ni. So pelan-pelan lah, we need to didikkan perkara yang important seperti ini kepada mereka.
Kan, I've never, nak kata, I have gone through some funerals before in my family kan. tak pernah I have this kind of experience, you know, macam kalau selalu kita dalam fikiran is like, tak apalah, nanti dah tua baru fikirlah. But for you is you want to make sure that you go through this so that walaupun masih muda ke ataupun you know dalam 20-an pun, you feel that it is an important step for them to learn and understand this whole process lah kan.
I think the whole part of it is not buat faraid aja. But you need to understand bila kita melibatkan faraid ni, dia ada adik-beradik yang lain. So you need to manage diorang punya expectation juga. Sebagai contoh, kalau kita nak agree, alhamdulillah sekarang ni kita ada masjid untuk kedua ibu bapa kita dekat Bintan. Kita dah build that masjid.
Alhamdulillah.
So with that money that we have, ada family members kita generally kalau kita tengok drama dan sebagainya, diorang bergaduh tentang harta kan.
Correct.
But for us, our main objective is nak gunakan duit tu untuk build a mosque. So kita nak kena discuss dengan adik-beradik kan. Ada mungkin tak setuju, ada mungkin setuju tapi hati berbelah bagi. And it's very hard to manage tu kan. Tapi alhamdulillah my siblings semua, kita 6 adik-beradik termasuk saya, I'm the 5th one. Kita semua manage to come into consensus lah. Semua orang agree, okay, kita buat masjid dulu, apa yang balance tu dan kita berikan faraid. These are things that mungkin kita pandang remeh, but it actually happen, right, in our world.
We have to get to know all these things lah. Kalau tak nanti kalau benda dah jadi, tu kita macam tengah mencacah tau, macam nak buat apa macam mana yeah, it's a problem. Okay, right. I want to ask you a question actually.
Okay.
Your wife is much older kan,
Right.
banyak pengalaman, a lot of experience in life. So bila you dah bernikah dengan dia tu kan, ni kita throwback sikit lah, berapa besar anak kan, jadi kita throwback tu perkahwinan
Okay.
So dah kahwin with your wife tu yang 12 years older kan, you tak pernah rasa ego you tercabar ke apa ke?
I think for me, alhamdulillah, bila kita dibesarkan dengan cara mak bapak kita ajar kita tu untuk rendahkan diri, berbudi bahasa, tak kira dengan siapa-siapa lah. Naturally bila kita converse dengan kita punya wife, dia akan menjadi baik. Tapi pada hakikatnya kita ni manusia, right? We have feelings and there are times that macam contoh kita balik kerja penat, rumah berserak, kita mesti mengamuk, right? For small things. And so when kita talk to our wife and telling them, I don't want this to happen again, sebagai contoh balik rumah kerja penat, then rumah berserak. But for the fact kita lupa dia pun kerja full time, dia balik dia nak kena uruskan anak-anak, and then dia pun nak kena masak. And it's a daily routine sampai ke hari ni dia tetap buat macam itu. Sampai sekarang. So pada permulaannya of course kita dibutakan, kita tak nampak tu semua. But along the way we understand. So we understand lah kan. Dia pun penat, pagi dia bekerja, dia bangun, dia siapkan anak-anak, hantar diorang pergi sekolah, then terus pergi kerja, balik ambil anak-anak, sampai rumah even sampai tak sempat nak mandi dulu dah masak. Ada kalinya dia bangun pagi untuk masak lah. So yelah, like experience lah. Bila kita dah nampak dia go through this kind of routine, of course kita tahu dia penat, sedangkan kita pun penat. Jadi pada permulaannya of course kita rasa macam kau nak kena buat pasal kau wife, kau isteri, right? It's not my job to do it. Then along the way kita pun faham, and then slowly tolong dia.
It comes into realization.
We have to come to consensus lah, benda-benda macam gini. And it's very important to always speak about it. Duduk berbual, kalau ada masalah kita huraikan, kita lontarkan segala perasaan ataupun masalah yang kita ada, and then cari jalan penyelesaian. Jangan lari daripada masalah. Dulu pada mulanya I always have the habit, kita dah bertekak, keluar rumah lah, duduk bawah ke, minum atau kopi. Dulu duduk rumah mak ke, jadi dia tak boleh datang kan, macam nak marah-marah. Tapi bila kita pergi balik, benda tu dia akan melirit, kan. Sebaiknya kita selesaikan masalah tu. Jadi kita duduk berbincang, cari jalan penyelesaian, lepas tu dah lah, InsyaAllah semua akan lebih baik lah.
I think Izwan ni seorang yang sangat matang ya.
Yes, very matured. And kita tak salah, kita almost the same age lah kan.
I'm 34.
34, I'm 30.
33. You are 33.
33. So roughly the same age. But I feel that dengan your experience, but I think of course it helps yang you have elder brothers. You're the last of your siblings.
I'm the fifth one. I got one younger sister, and then 3 elder brother.
Oh, nice.
The first one is my sister lah.
Right. So you learn just now, you earlier on tadi you cakap yang you belajar daripada your siblings, belajar daripada your arwah mak bapa, all these kind of things yang you really to shape who you are as an individual in a sense. Pasal I want to throw back even further a bit about what you mentioned earlier on in the episode, yang you kata dulu you were budak nakal and things like that, and then you suddenly had the realization, I want to get away from all this maksiat and things like that, and you want to get married. Kan? So bila you dah masuk dalam fasa perkahwinan tu, was this this maturity, this sense of fatherhood, husband and all that, did it come like instantaneously ke, ataupun macam you really slowly step into being a father?
I think like I said lah, I learned through experience. In fact, my wife also a big part of it. Dia kongsikan macam mana dia mendidik anak-anak dia, and then kita tak boleh ikut sama. Kan kita nak kena improvise, and you have to be a fair way lah, 50-50. Anak pun kita nak kena side, wife pun kita nak kena side. And then I also learn from my parents, cara macam mana mereka didik kita, cara macam mana mereka layan anak cucu-cucu mereka. Sayang betul cucu-cucu mereka kan. Jadi kita pun nak adakan perasaan macam gitu. Kita pun nak perlu sayangkan anak-anak kita. Betul. And then from my daripada adik-beradik, kita sentiasa kongsikan masalah kita, tapi in general, bukan spesifik. Find out from them, macam mana kalau aku ada masalah sedemikian, apa kau akan buat? Sebagai contohnya. Then they will give their perspective. But it could not be, it can, like macam perkara itu tak semestinya relate to them. Right? Maybe solution orang kasih works, maybe tak works, but you have to try it, right? And then I also, sometimes I Google, kalau contoh
Google.
we have to lah.
Just to learn lah.
Sebagai anak perempuan dah makin membesar, macam mana kita nak kawalkan, bukan kawalkan lah, manage diorang punya cara bergaul dengan orang. I think it's very important also that you know siapa kawan-kawan mereka. Right? And then sebagai contoh, macam diorang nak keluar, we tell them maybe one day you can bring your friends to our house, just lepak kat sini, we get to know them. Right. So all this experience make me who I am lah.
InsyaAllah.
Amazing. So you dah ada 5 anak tiri kan, but then Alhamdulillah you also dikurniakan 2 kids of your own dengan your wife. Alhamdulillah. So bila you dah ada anak tu, you ada tak perasaan yang macam I want kids of my own also?
Hi, Faris again from Your Reno Works. What is trending right now for me personally, based on my past projects, sekarang orang dah tak nak pakai TV console lah actually. So what they want is macam they want to see a flat punya wall, but then you just mount your TV, and then kat bawah tu you pernah nampak tak macam ada opening untuk just to letak soundbar atau some frames like itu. So that is quite nice. If you want minimalist style, you can just paint the backing, dah tak payah buat carpentry for your future wall. You save a bit of cost down there. Itu kalau tak nak buat lah TV console. Tapi if let's say you still want a TV console untuk storage, you can still do it. Just let any of our consultants know from Your Reno Works, then we can do it for you, no problem. So if you have any questions regarding renovation, do contact us at 83837879, or you can follow any of our social media at Your Reno Works, or you can also go to our website at www.yourrenoworks.com. Your Reno Works can be trusted.
Okay, ni secara jujur ni lillahi ta'ala. In fact, I speak to my wife about this. I told her because of her age, I don't want any kids. Bila baru-baru nikah tu kan, tapi dia punya pujuk, dia cakap, you nak kena ada you punya zuriat, you nak kena ada anak. And I think what she's trying to tell me is for me to think about my future also. Satu hari nanti kita tua, siapa nak jaga dan sebagainya. Bukan tak boleh harapkan anak saya yang 5 tu, tapi anak sendiri kan. Jadi macam mana tu kita pun agreed lah to try and have one kid lah. Alhamdulillah dapat 2015 March my Dr. Naira Nur Sabrina.
Sedap nama dia.
Yeah, so I think that experience, okay, so because the Caesar kan dia punya,
Okay.
I didn't had the chance to go into the ward and look first hand lah. Tapi the experience when ni tak boleh bayangkan lah bila kita pegang anak kita tu for the first time. Right, because I was thinking back, dulu aku tak pernah terfikir nak kahwin. Dah kahwin pula tak terfikir nak ada anak. Tapi hari ini Allah Ta'ala berikan aku satu tanggungjawab yang lebih besar. And I was asking myself, boleh tak? Alhamdulillah lah. Sekarang pun dah primary 3, dah besar. So the second one was actually something that we plan and have tried for 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Lama juga. To a point where kita decided not to continue.
Okay.
Right. So just bear in mind at that point my wife age was around 39 to 40 gitulah.
Okay.
So dia dah makin usia kan, and I'm afraid dia ada health complication. Right. Pasal kita tengok news kadang-kadang bila seseorang yang lebih dewasa tu ataupun lebih tua beranak, anak ada problem dan sebagainya, kita pun worry lah. Tapi ni semua
Bersama lah.
kuasa Allah. So at one point kita decide, okay lah, tak apalah, kita stop. So just to share, we actually book an appointment to go ligation. So ligation is ikat lah. Basically you cannot have any more kids. But dengan kuasa Allah lagi, so she book her appointment dekat polyclinic. Polyclinic refer to KK. So we are waiting for KK to send us notification to come
go
down
for the
for
ligation.
appointment lah.
Okay.
Kan? But 2 weeks before that, period dia tak datang.
Okay.
So kita ingat, in my head ada 2 benda lah.
Okay.
Satu, memang kena lah dia mengandung. Nombor 2, mungkin usia dia lambat sikit lah.
Okay.
Because I think age play a part
Yeah, in
also.
the cycle.
Kali dia curious, pergi Watson ke, tak ingat lah dia beli pregnancy test kit tu, kena. Kena.
Tunggu 3-4 tahun.
Betul.
Dah nak give up.
Yes.
Allah dah cakap,
Nak give up, betul.
gitu.
Nak give up. Kita dah macam dah try sebanyak, I mean many ways lah, tapi tak kena juga. Then nak give up. Dengan kuasa Tuhan kena. Right. And then that night juga, that afternoon when she told me, I was a bit macam, biar betul ni. Kan, tak
3-4
boleh
tahun
percaya
ni,
lah.
cuba, kan?
Malam tu juga kita pergi klinik. Then the doctor confirm that she's pregnant at the age of 40. So Alhamdulillah, anak saya yang kedua tu Umar Ryan, beranak pada tarikh yang sama saya beranak lah, 2nd December.
Same birthday.
So bila datang birthday, anak saya selalu dapat banyak present lah.
Bapaknya dapat present daripada wife je lah.
Daripada wife. So
Masya-Allah.
Alhamdulillah. Then waktu tu pun, because of her age, doctor keep on emphasizing, kau nak buat Down syndrome test tak? You know, do all this kind of test lah, pasal takut anak ada complication. Tapi saya cakap, wife ni kita serahkan pada Allah. Kita serahkan pada Allah. Alhamdulillah dia keluar dengan keadaan yang sihat walafiat.
Alhamdulillah.
Sekarang pun makin nakal dia.
Tapi
5
that
tahun.
time kita buat Zoom meeting dengan Izwan sebelum this recording. Lepas tu ada anak dia yang paling
Umar
muda
tu.
tu lah, Umar tu. Dia so manja dengan bapak dia. So cute.
Kan, Masya-Allah.
Dia peluk, lepas tu dia cium pipi dia.
Tu paling moment yang tak boleh dilupakan lah. Kan? I mean every parents go through that. Kan? But for me it was really special because knowing that I already have 5 kids and then ada yang satu kecil ni, because I'm also hoping that they help me. Tapi Alhamdulillah semua anak-anak saya semua kat rumah ada kerja masing-masing. Walaupun yang first tu, ini saya kongsi sikit lah. Tapi InsyaAllah kalau dia dengar ni, memang dia buat. Anak saya yang first tu, walaupun dia waktu tu umur dia 14 tahun, seorang lelaki, kerja dia adalah jemur baju. So my wife kasih dia satu habit supaya dia buat consistently, and then adik-adik yang lain pun ikut.
Dia ada example lah, set an
Correct.
example.
Yes, and then anak yang kedua, ketiga tu Alhamdulillah, satu 22 tahun, satu 20 tahun, sekarang dah pandai masak. Right. And I don't have to worry kan. Alhamdulillah my wife selalu bila nak masak ajak dorang. Dan yang nombor 4 tu ialah buat kerja rumah, kemas rumah, cuci toilet. Yang nombor 5 tu pun sama. So yang 4th dengan 5th tu they are non-identical twins.
Oh, tu
One boy, one girl.
Okay.
Tapi bayangkan waktu my wife was single, macam mana dia handle tu?
Kan 5-5
Kan?
tu.
Tak terbayang.
Tak terbayang.
Tak boleh bayang.
Tak boleh bayang. And then bila you masuk in that family tu, you pun macam
Right. It's easy to say then do lah. Tapi Alhamdulillah semuanya happy lah.
Masya Allah.
Tapi I'm very curious about one thing also, about you and your wife lah. You 12 years age gap ni pernah tak pose any kind of challenges for you? Maybe ada generational gap ke apa, tak faham ke, macam slang ni tak faham ke, lagu ni tak pernah dengar ke?
Tapi don't be surprised dia walaupun lebih usia, lagu P.Ramlee dia pun tak tahu. Saya tahu lagu P.Ramlee.
Faham.
Faham.
Not necessarily lah.
Tapi kalau if you're talking about challenges, I think only the initial stage lah. Bila kita baru kahwin tu, not to say possessive, tapi pasal kita ni muda dan kerja, mesti dia akan rasa takut, that kind of thing. Tapi Alhamdulillah, I think I'm being me. Lepas tu okay lah. Kalau challenges untuk nak didik anak tu, of course ada. Every parent also go through that moment kan. And then there are times that she say A, I say B. Kan kita come to a disagreement. Tapi eventually Alhamdulillah semua settle lah.
I think it all boils down to the communication that Izwan mentioned early on kan. You are open about this challenges, apa-apa masalah pun korang bentangkan. There's never simpan. Kalau ada simpan pun mungkin is pasal benda yang remeh-temeh sangat lah. Tapi but anything else you converse dengan you punya isteri, even dengan anak-anak pun you berbual. You know, this is something that we have been trying to tell, not ada this that something that we wanna share dengan our insiders, dengan siapa-siapa yang mendengar episod ni, yang we really need to start talking.
Correct.
Dia bukan setakat bilang aja tau. Dia kena betul-betul
open comms lah. Macam kat kerja, one of the principle kita ada is open communication. Dekat rumah pun kita nak kena buat. Rumah ni dia macam organisation juga. Kita ni ibarat CEO. So macam mana kita nak run kita punya organisation macam gitu. Tapi at any point kembali kepada agama.
Perbezaan kerja dengan rumah lah.
Dan nak kongsikan sikit antara hadis yang bagi saya penting adalah hadis Tirmizi yang menyatakan the best among you are the best to your family members. Kan? So kalau kita ni berbuat baik pada ahli keluarga, insya-Allah dekat luar pun kita akan berbuat baik pada orang lah.
Insya-Allah. It all starts from home.
Betul. Banyak sangat lah golden gems.
Yes, amazing, masya-Allah. I'm so glad yang you have reached out to us at the start. I'm so glad that you are here today to share this amazing beautiful story of yours dengan dia punya and of course dengan berdakwah juga, dengan all the hadis and all that. It's something yang kita sangat-sangat berterima kasih. Really because it serves as a reminder not just for us but insyaAllah for all the pendengar-pendengar jugalah.
So we like to thank you lah for coming.
Thank you.
On this episode.
I mean of course definitely we can go a lot more, tapi masa tak memberi peluang. Tapi insyaAllah kalau ada lagi jodoh kita untuk bertemu lagi, mana tahu part 2 dengan Izwan juga kan, share more about tips and tricks of being a father gitu. InsyaAllah.
Alhamdulillah, insyaAllah lah this episode will be beneficial for all of you insiders.
Maybe before we go, you have anything you want to say to your wife and to your children?
Actually my wife is also here. Just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for all the sacrifices, all the hardship that you went through with me. Stayed with me. There are times that we are at our lowest, and there are also times that we are at our highest. So at both times you are there. Terima kasih lah banyak-banyak. Tanpa you juga mungkin I ni tak boleh jadi seorang ayah yang sempurna lah kan. I think my wife also play a big part, a big role in my life for who I am right now lah. And I also want to say thank you to all my 5 kids. Alhamdulillah all of you tak kasih banyak problem, even though there are problems. Dengan izin Allah kita dapat selesaikan dengan cara yang baik lah. And I sebagai ayah always doa for you all. You all know that always love you, cared for you. If there's any problem, you can always talk to me. Thank you for everything lah. Yeah.
Hello.
Such a lovely ending to the episode kan guys?
Alhamdulillah.
MasyaAllah. Right, once again, terima kasih Izwan for
Thank you.
sharing your stories again.
Yes.
Tapi untuk kepada pendengar-pendengar yang dah rasa tersebab gitu kan,
Sentuh.
lepas tu terfikir, alamak rumah aku ni kena renovate lah.
Tiba.
Nak
Nak cari siapa?
Nak cari siapa?
Cari
Your
Your
Renoworks.
Renoworks. Hubungi mereka di talian 83837879.
Yes, or head on over to their socials on Instagram, TikTok dan juga Facebook di Your Renoworks ataupun lungsuri laman website mereka di www.yourrenoworks.com.
Your Renoworks
Can be trusted. We've come to the end of another episode of Outside In.
If you like what you hear, please follow us on all our socials, TikTok, Instagram, Spotify and YouTube.
Share it with all of your friends and family members so that they can benefit from this episode too, insyaAllah.
InsyaAllah.
Till next time, Assalamualaikum.
Salam.